Bison are keystone species, which Van Dyke defines as, quote, a species with strong effects on community or ecosystem processes and biodiversity, end quote. And as such, bison are an important part of the dynamic ecosystem of Yellowstone. This infographic lists many other roles that bison serve. I will focus on their role as large herbivores and their important role in the grasslands that they live in Yellowstone. First, bison are nomadic grazers, meaning they are constantly moving and are not overgrazing one area. This kind of grazing results in a mosaic pattern, as bison select the best forage. As the pink text box points out, that these grazed areas will have less dry vegetation and can serve as a natural fire break. Secondly, nitrogen cycling is an important process in every ecosystem. The study done in Yellowstone by Douglas and Evans reported that bison's grazing style increased microbial immobilization and increased nitrogen cycling, which means that it is available to the plants. With more usable nitrogen available, plants have increased production. Finally, bison prefer post-fire regrowth, which tends to be recolonized first by grasses like big bluestem and little bluestem. These kinds of grasses can outcompete other primary recolonizers and dominate a landscape if not grazed. Through the combination of bison behaviors, which include grazing and feces and urine distribution, their mere presence helps to improve the heterogeneity of the landscape. Winter is the time when bison herds migrate to lower elevations and out of the park boundaries. Here is a map that shows bison migration routes with the brown arrows and where bison will migrate out of the park to. A major area of conflict was Horse Butte, where there was a cattle grazing permit in the Gallatin National Forest. The lower left purple area includes Horse Butte. These purple areas are where the IBMP, Interagency Bison Management Plan, has worked to resolve conflicts of interests between commercial cattle operation and Yellowstone bison herds. Since cattle grazing on permits near Yellowstone are the only ones that have the possible risk of contracting brucellosis from the shared pasture land with the bison who migrate out of the park in the winter, closing these certain permits will reduce infection transmission. In 2003, there was legal action to have the grazing permits closed in Horse Butte, and in 2009 they were closed. This map also shows other areas of conflicts that have been resolved up until 2013. There are currently 4 strands of vaccines that are commonly used for livestock in regards to brucellosis. All young cattle have been treated with the strand RB51. This vaccine is effective in decreasing abortions, which is a major side effect of brucellosis that impacts commercial cattle operations. While this vaccine does decrease the side effects, it does not prevent contracting brucellosis. Though from this map, we can see that the current policies of limiting pasture overlap with livestock are working, as the states that surround Yellowstone, which are Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana, are classified as brucellosis-free. The conservation of Yellowstone bison herd is important for the health and quality of their grassland habitat. Efforts being made to prevent uncontrolled brucellosis infection is feasible. Next, Kieran is going to discuss the social, political, and economic factors that make Yellowstone National Park bison conservation viable in Montana.